All right, welcome back. You have made it through the entire journey into the world of artificial intelligence. So now what we're going to do is pull all those key pieces together in a quick recap to make sure the most important ideas really truly stick. Let's dive right in. So after all of that, what were the big takeaways? What were the key lessons? That's what this is all about. We're going to connect the dots and make sure that the most important concepts are crystal clear. You'll remember, we started right at the very beginning. I mean, before we could jump into all the exciting new tools and applications, we had to build a solid foundation. We had to ask that one simple but crucial question: what is artificial intelligence, really? And the core idea we landed on was actually pretty straightforward. AI isn't really about the thinking, feeling robots you see in the movies. It's about computer systems doing things that, until now, have needed human smarts. Think about recognizing patterns or making a decision, not having feelings. And this brought us to a really important reality check. See, every single AI used today, Siri, your spam filter, you name it, is what we called narrow AI. It's a specialist. It's designed for one specific job. The idea of a human-like general AI or some kind of world-dominating super AI, well, that's still firmly in the realm of science fiction, at least for now. So the next big question was, how do these systems get so smart? And the key takeaway here was that it's not about programming them with millions of if-then rules. Instead, AI learns from data, and it does that through a process we called machine learning. And just like with people, the quality of its experience, which is its data, is everything. You know the saying, garbage in, garbage out. And to wrap up the fundamentals, we took a look at deep learning. We saw how these incredibly complex, brain-inspired networks are the real engines driving today's biggest breakthroughs. Everything from understanding what we say to analyzing complex medical images. Okay, so once we had the basics down, we moved on to the what. All those powerful AI tools that are making headlines and, let's be honest, changing our world right now. We kicked things off with the technology behind tools like ChatGPT, language models. And the key insight here is that deep down, they're just unbelievably powerful prediction machines. They're constantly just guessing the next most likely word. But when you scale that up, that simple act of prediction creates some truly mind-blowing abilities. From there, we saw how this creative power goes way beyond just words. We looked at generative AI. This is the tech that can paint a picture from a simple description or even compose a brand new piece of music. We really saw it as AI becoming a kind of creative partner. Next, we took a little peek into the future with AI agents. Now, the key difference we talked about here is autonomy. A language model just reacts to what you type, but an agent? It can be proactive. It can actually make a plan, use different tools, and take actions all on its own to achieve a goal, like, say, booking your entire vacation for you, from flights to hotels, all by itself. But just as we were getting totally impressed by these amazing new tools, we had to pump the brakes a little bit and ask a really critical question. Can we actually trust them to be right all the time? And the answer we found was a big, resounding no. This led us to one of AI's biggest weaknesses, something called hallucinations. The most important thing to remember here is that AI is a pattern matcher. It's not a fact knower. And that means it can confidently make up sources, invent fake statistics, and state things that are completely wrong with absolute certainty. So, with the technology and its limits understood, we then zoomed out to look at the big picture. How is this powerful, but let's face it, imperfect tool already reshaping our society as a whole? And we saw that the positive impact is absolutely huge. Businesses are getting more efficient, education can be tailored to individual students, and scientists are using AI to tackle massive challenges, everything from discovering new medicines to modeling climate change. But of course, we also had to look at the other side of the coin. We examined that really delicate balance between using AI for security and the very real risks it poses to our privacy. And we saw that, well, there are no easy answers here. It's just a critical debate that society is having, with really strong arguments on both sides. Looking at the global stage, we explored the concept of sovereign AI. We realized that as AI becomes as critical as, say, the power grid, nations are now in a race to build their own systems, to protect their own data, their economies, and their independence. All of this led us to our final and, you could argue, most important section. After looking at the tech and its impact, we turned the spotlight right back on ourselves, on our shared responsibility for shaping AI's future. Here, we walked through the bedrock principles for responsible AI And the key takeaway was that it's not enough for AI to just be powerful. It has to be fair, transparent, and accountable. These aren't just, nice to have ideas. They are absolutely essential if we want to build a technology we can actually trust. And if there was one single message to take away from this entire tutorial, this is it. AI is a tool. It is an incredibly powerful tool, but it is not magic. And just like any other tool, it requires our judgment, our verification, and our critical thinking to be used safely and wisely. And that brings us to a final, really important point. This is a fast-moving field, and what we've covered here is just a snapshot in time. This is a great introduction, but the learning can't stop here. In a subject this big, it's really easy to learn a little bit and start to think you're an expert. That's that Dunning-Kruger effect we talked about. And it can happen to anyone. The real goal is to stay curious and just keep learning. So just so you know, this tutorial from Virtualization Options LLC offers general information on artificial intelligence. The information provided is as of October 2025 and is offered without any warranty expressed or implied. Think of this as just the beginning of a lifelong journey. And so we end right back where we started, but now with a much clearer picture. We've seen that AI is simply a tool, maybe one of the most powerful tools humanity has ever created. But the technology itself is neutral. The only question that really matters now is the one right here on your screen. With everything you now know, how will you choose to use it?